She cheated with her ex while I planned to propose, so I vanished with the ring and let her watch me upgrade to someone hotter. Now, she's spiraling, knowing she lost everything for a liar. I'm Marcus, 28M, architect in Auckland. Been with Sophia, 26F, for 3 years. She's a fashion designer, talented, beautiful, the kind of woman who turns heads when she walks into a room. I thought I'd won the lottery. 2 months ago, I bought an engagement ring. Not some cheap SHT either, custom designed, princess cut diamond, the works. Cost me 3 months' salary, but she was worth it. I had everything planned. Cathedral Cove at sunset next month. Already talked to her parents in Wellington, got their blessing. Her dad even teared up, told me I was the son he never had. Last Tuesday changed everything. She left her iPad on the kitchen counter, unlocked. I wasn't snooping, just wanted to check the weather for a site visit. But her messages app was open. Ryan. Her effing ex. Last night was everything I missed. Can't wait to feel you again. I scrolled up. They'd been effing for 2 months. The same 2 months I'd been planning our future, she'd been planning her nights around when I had late meetings or site inspections. The messages were explicit. Things she'd never done with me. Positions she claimed she wasn't into. Photos I won't describe. The worst part? She'd saved his contact as Sophie Chen, her fabricated client who always needed urgent evening consultations. I sat there for 20 minutes, reading 3 months of lies. Every working late. Every client emergency. Every weekend she flew to Wellington for family visits when I couldn't come because of work. Here's where most guys would confront her. Scream. Cry. Beg for answers. F that. I screenshotted everything. Emailed it to myself. Then marked the messages as unread and put the iPad exactly where I found it. She came home 2 hours later, kissing me like nothing happened. I kissed her back. Told her about my day. Made dinner together. We F'd that night. I made sure it was memorable. The whole time, I was planning. See, I don't do emotional outbursts. I'm an architect. I build things methodically, and I can tear them down the same way. I've had a standing job offer in Melbourne, senior architect position, 40% pay increase. Been sitting on it for months because of her. Her whole life is here, her studio, her Fashion Week connections, her family. Not anymore. Tomorrow, while she's at her client meeting, checked her calendar, she's seeing Ryan, I'm disappearing. Already shipped my essential stuff to Melbourne under the guise of old uni textbooks going to storage. Got a new phone with Australian number. Apartment lease ends in 3 weeks, told the landlord I'm not renewing, he can keep the deposit. Bank account separated. Utilities transferred out of my name. Even rerouted my mail. The ring? Returning it tomorrow morning. She's going to come home to an empty apartment. No note. No explanation. My number disconnected. Email deactivated. Like I never existed. Her iPad still logged into my Netflix, Spotify, everything. I'll be watching her try to piece it together from Melbourne. Already blocked her on all social media from my new accounts she doesn't know about. Some might call this cowardly. I call it efficient. Why waste energy on someone who wasted my time? She wants Ryan? She can have him. But she'll have him while wondering what the F happened. While calling my dead number. While showing up at my office to find out I resigned. While her friends ask where I went and she has to admit she has no effing clue. The best part? I start my new job in a week. Corner office. View of the Yarra River. There's this interior designer there, Aria. We've been texting about the position. She's keen to show me around Melbourne. 23, legs for days, actually appreciates ambition. Sophia thinks she played me. Tomorrow, she learns who really got played. I'll update when I'm in Melbourne. Wish me luck, Reddit. Actually, F luck. I don't need it. Update 1, 2 weeks later. Holy SHT, the response to my last post. To everyone who messaged support, cheers. To those calling me heartless, I didn't ask for your opinion. I'm writing this from my new apartment in South Bank. Floor-to-ceiling windows, city views, twice the size of our old place. Funny how much money you save when you're not subsidizing someone else's life. Let me tell you what happened after I left. I executed everything perfectly. While Sophia was getting railed by Ryan, I cleaned out my life in Auckland. Left anything we bought together, took only what was mine. Even left the coffee machine, she can make Ryan his morning flat whites now. The drive to Melbourne was therapeutic. Turned off my old phone just outside Hamilton. By the time I hit the airport, Marcus from Auckland ceased to exist. First few days were quiet. Got settled, started the new job, met the team. Aria gave me the tour as promised. She knows the best spots in Melbourne. Already have a favorite coffee place that SHTs all over anything in Auckland. Then Sophia noticed. According to our mutual friend James, who's been feeding me information because he thinks what she did was effed, she came home that Tuesday night to find my stuff gone. First, she thought I'd been robbed. Called the police and everything. They pointed out that robbers don't usually take only one person's belongings and leave the others untouched. Then she tried calling. Number disconnected. Emails bounced. Went to my office Wednesday morning, they told her I'd resigned, effective immediately. That's when the panic set in. She called everyone. Everyone. My parents, told them everything beforehand, they're disgusted with her. My sister in Sydney, blocked her. My best mates, they all knew the plan. Nobody would tell her SHT. The best part? She couldn't even file a missing person report because I'd left a formal resignation, paid my portion of the bills, and clearly left of my own accord. The cops basically told her that ghosting isn't a crime. By Thursday, she was unraveling. James sent me screenshots of her Instagram stories, crying selfies asking if anyone had heard from me. Posting old photos of us with captions like "Please come home, we can work this out." Work what out? I'm not even there to have a conversation. Friday, she went nuclear. Showed up at my parents' house in Hamilton. My dad answered the door, told her I was somewhere rebuilding after what you did, and shut it in her face. She sat in their driveway for 2 hours before mom threatened to call the cops. Meanwhile, I'm in Melbourne living my best life. The job is incredible, I'm lead architect on a waterfront development project. My team actually respects deadlines. No more carrying dead weight. And Aria? F me, where do I start? She's everything Sophia pretended to be. Ambitious as HL, runs her own interior design consultancy on the side. Owns her own apartment in Docklands. Drives a Mercedes she bought herself, not one daddy leased for her. We went for drinks Friday night. Ended up at her place. I'll spare you the details, but let's just say she's into things Sophia claimed were degrading. Woke up Saturday to her making breakfast in my shirt and nothing else. No games, no BS, just a woman who knows what she wants. The meltdown continued over the weekend. Sophia somehow got my work email. 17 messages ranging from, "Baby, please talk to me. I don't know what happened, but we can fix this. I'm sorry for whatever I did. You're being effing childish. I'll call the police if you don't respond. Please just tell me you're okay." I marked them all as spam. James told me she finally cracked Sunday night. Posted on Facebook asking if anyone knew where I was, saying she was worried sick about her missing partner. The comments were hilarious. Half were concerned friends, the other half were people who knew exactly why I left. Someone, definitely not me on a fake account, commented, "Maybe check with Ryan?" She deleted the post within an hour. The pattern's predictable. She's cycling through confusion, anger, desperation, and panic. Still hasn't admitted to anyone what she did. How can she? My boyfriend of 3 years vanished into thin air sounds mysterious. My boyfriend found out I was effing my ex and disappeared makes her the villain. She's tried everything. Created new Instagram accounts to stalk mine, blocked. Used friends' phones to call me, blocked. Even contacted my LinkedIn saying she was worried about my mental health. My mental health? I just got promoted, landing deals worth millions, and wake up to a smoke show who actually appreciates success. My mental health is fantastic. Best revelation? Found out through another friend that Ryan dumped her sauce the same week I left. Apparently, the thrill was gone once she was single and desperate. He's back with his ex-girlfriend from Christchurch. Sophia lost everything for a guy who was just using her for easy pussy. Next week, Aria and I are flying to Queenstown for a long weekend. Staying at Ashart's private hotel, the exact place Sophia had bookmarked for our engagement trip. Already know I'm posting every moment on Instagram. My account's private, but Auckland's fashion scene is small. She'll see it through someone. To everyone asking if I feel guilty, why would I? I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I didn't destroy 3 years. I just refused to be anyone's backup plan. She made her choice. Now she's living with it. I'll update after Queenstown. Something tells me the meltdown is just beginning. Update 2, 1 month later. Queenstown was effing perfect. But let me back up, because the SHT storm that happened before we left was pure entertainment. Remember how I said Sophia was unraveling? That was child's play compared to what happened next. Somehow, and I found out it was through my weak sauce former colleague Pete, who I trained for 6 months, she got my new number. I knew immediately because my phone exploded at 3 a.m. Melbourne time with calls and texts. The voicemail started reasonable. "Marcus, it's me. Please, I just need to know you're okay. I don't understand what happened. Can we talk?" Then desperate. "I know you're getting these. Your parents won't talk to me. Everyone's shutting me out. Please, I'm going crazy. Just one conversation." Then angry. "You're a effing coward. 3 years and you just vanish? What kind of man does that? Call me back." Then back to tears. "I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. Please come home. I'll do anything. We can go to couples therapy. I'll move to Melbourne if that's what you want. Please." 47 voicemails in total. I saved them all. Evidence for the restraining order if needed. The texts were worse. Novels about our relationship. Memory lane BS about our first date, first trip, first apartment. Photos of us from happier times. Then screenshots of her going through our old conversations trying to figure out what went wrong. The lack of self-awareness was stunning. Not once did she mention Ryan. Not once did she admit to anything. Just playing the victim, confused why her loving boyfriend vanished. I didn't respond to any of it. Just screenshotted everything and blocked the number. But she wasn't done. Thursday before Queenstown, I'm in a client meeting when reception calls. There's a delivery that requires my signature. I wasn't expecting anything, but went down anyway. It was Sophia. She'd lost weight. Designer clothes replaced with jeans and a wrinkled sweater. No makeup. Looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Marcus." She tried to rush me. Security stepped in, benefits of working in a high-end firm. "Please, just 5 minutes. I flew here. I need to understand. You need to leave." My voice was calm. Cold. The same tone I use when firing incompetent contractors. "Baby, please. Whatever happened, we can." "Security, please escort her out. If she returns, call the police." The look on her face when I turned my back? Priceless. She tried to follow me to the elevator, screaming, "You can't just throw away 3 years. Talk to me. Be a effing man." Be a man? I am. A man who respects himself too much to engage with trash. Security removed her. She spent 3 hours sitting outside the building before police moved her along. "We have cameras, I got the footage." That night, the texts from unknown numbers started. Her friends, her sister, even her mom. All variations of "How could you do this to her? And she's worried sick and this isn't like you." Blocked them all. Friday morning, I picked up Aria for the airport. Told her about Sophia showing up. Her response? "Want me to handle it?" That's a real woman. Not threatened. Not dramatic. Just ready to protect what's hers. Queenstown was everything. Stayed in the suite Sophia had dreamed about. You know what's better than a romantic getaway with a cheater? One with a woman who matches your energy. Aria and I aren't playing games. She knows my story. Respects that I handled it like a boss instead of crying into my beer. We're not defining the relationship or any of that SHT. We just are. When it's right, you don't need to force it. Posted selective photos on Instagram. The hotel. The helicopter ride. The private wine tasting. Aria's hand wearing the Cartier bracelet I bought her on a whim. Caption, "Upgrading everything in life." My account's private, but I knew Sophia would see. Auckland's fashion and architecture scenes overlap. Someone would show her. They did. James sent me the aftermath. She lost her SHT at a Fashion Week pre-party. Crying in the bathroom. Had to be escorted out after she threw a glass at some girl who asked about me. The meltdown was so bad, she got disinvited from the main shows. Her career is crumbling. Turns out showing up to client meetings looking like a ghost and crying randomly doesn't inspire confidence. Lost 2 major accounts already. But here's the effing kicker, Ryan's new, old, girlfriend reached out to me. Turns out Sophia's been stalking them too. Showing up at Ryan's apartment. Texting him hundreds of times. Begging him to take her back since I'm gone. He filed a police complaint. She's now harassing both her exes. The best part? Ryan's girlfriend sent me screenshots of Sophia admitting everything. How she effed up. How she cheated for months. How losing me was her biggest mistake. How Ryan meant nothing. Too little, too late. When we got back from Queenstown, there was a letter at my office. Hand-delivered, no postmark. I recognized the handwriting. Didn't open it. Gave it straight to my lawyer. If she contacts me again, we're filing for an intervention order. Already have enough evidence to bury her. Some of you asked if I'm happy. Look at the scoreboard. Career thriving. 6-figure salary. Penthouse apartment. Woman who actually adds value to my life. Peace of mind. Meanwhile, she's career imploding. Living in crisis mode. Lost both guys she was juggling. Publicly humiliated. One step from a restraining order. Yeah, I'm effing happy. The ring I was going to propose with? Sold it. Used the money for a Tag Heuer Monaco. Every time I check the time, I'm reminded that walking away was the best decision I ever made. Next update will probably be about the restraining order because she's escalating. But honestly, I'm too busy winning to care. Update 3 months later. This is probably my second to last update. What happened over the past 2 months proves I made the right choice, and Sophia's complete descent into madness has been educational. Remember that letter I gave to my lawyer? Turns out it was 12 pages of rambling BS. Apologies, accusations, bargaining, threats of self-harm, promises to change, and finally, buried on page 10, the admission. She wrote about Ryan. About the cheating. About how it meant nothing and was just her being confused about commitment. My lawyer sent her a cease and desist. Made it clear, any further contact would result in criminal charges for stalking. Did that stop her? Of course effing not. 2 weeks after the letter, she hired a private investigator. I know because the idiot pie approached my doorman asking questions. Doorman called me immediately. I tip well for a reason. We have the guy on camera, and my lawyer added it to our file. But the real drama happened last month. I was at home on a Saturday, Arya staying over. We were cooking dinner when the intercom buzzed. Doorman said someone was here claiming to be my sister with an emergency. I don't have a sister in Melbourne. Pulled up the building app to check the lobby camera. Sophia. But she'd done something new, dyed her hair blonde, dressed differently. Trying to look like someone else to get past security. I told the doorman to call the police. Then I started recording on my phone. What happened next was pure insanity. When security refused her entry, she lost it. Started screaming that I was holding her hostage. That I'd stolen her money. That she was pregnant with my child, physically impossible, she had an IUD and we hadn't effed in over 4 months. The police arrived as she was trying to force her way past security. She hit one of the guards. That's assault. They arrested her on the spot. But here's where it gets interesting. Arya walked out to the balcony to see what the commotion was about. Sophia saw her. The scream that came out of her mouth wasn't human. She went ballistic, fighting the cops, screaming about that woe and how Arya stole her life. They had to physically restrain her. The whole thing is on building security footage in my phone. 11 minutes of pure crazy. She spent the weekend in jail. Monday morning, she was charged with assault, attempting to break and enter, and violating the cease and desist. Her parents had to fly in from Wellington to bail her out. Her dad called me after, not to apologize for his daughter, but to blame me for abandoning her and driving her to this. I sent him the screenshots of her cheating. All of them. Including the ones where she described in detail what Ryan did to her while I was working late to pay for our life. He hung up. Haven't heard from him since. The court case was last week. She pled guilty to avoid jail time. 6-month restraining order, mandatory therapy, and a criminal record that'll follow her forever. Try explaining that to fashion clients. During the hearing, the truth came out publicly. The prosecutor read her emails admitting to the affair. Her lawyer tried to paint her as a woman driven to desperation by abandonment, but the judge wasn't buying it. Called her behavior escalating harassment that showed no regard for the victim's clearly stated boundaries. Victim. That's me, officially. But the best part? The Auckland fashion community found out everything. The arrest, the cheating, the stalking. She's radioactive now. Lost her studio space. Remaining clients dropped her. She's moved back with her parents in Hamilton, working retail at a department store. From rising fashion designer to folding clothes at Farmers. You love to see it. Meanwhile, my life keeps getting better. Just landed the biggest project of my career, a $50 million waterfront development. Full creative control. My name on the building when it's done. Arya and I are solid. Not rushing anything, but she's got a drawer at my place now. We're planning a month in Europe this summer, Milan, Paris, Barcelona. She wants to check out the architecture and design scenes. I want to post photos from every city Sophia dreamed of visiting. Oh, and remember Ryan? His girlfriend reached out again last month. He apparently had a moment of weakness and F'd Sophia once after I left. His girlfriend found out and dumped him. Now he's single, she's toxic to any man with sense, and they're both alone. Poetic justice. Some of you have asked if I regret being so harsh. If I feel bad about her life imploding. No. She had a man ready to marry her. Give her everything. Instead, she chose to get railed by her ex while I planned our future. Every consequence she's facing is one she created. I didn't make her cheat. I didn't make her lie. I didn't make her stalk me. I didn't make her assault a security guard. I just refused to be her safety net when her circus caught fire. To any man reading this in a similar situation, you can't control what they do, but you can control how you respond. Don't argue. Don't beg. Don't try to win them back. Just leave. Live well. Let them watch from whatever hole they dig themselves into. Success is the best revenge, and I'm living proof. Final update coming in a few months. Want to see if she violates the restraining order? My lawyer thinks she will, or if she finally accepts reality. Either way, I win. Final update, 6 months later. This is it. The final chapter of this saga. I wasn't going to update again, but what happened last month deserves to be documented. First, let me paint you a picture of where everyone stands. Me? Senior architect, just got another promotion. The waterfront project broke ground last month. My name's on a plaque that'll outlast anything Sophia and I ever built together. Aria moved in officially. We're not engaged or any of that SHT, just two successful people building something real. Sophia? Still in Hamilton with her parents. Still working retail. But apparently, she'd been getting better in therapy. Accepting responsibility. Moving on. Or so everyone thought. Last month, my lawyer forwarded me something. Sophia's therapist had reached out, with her permission, asking if I'd be willing to participate in a closure session. Reading a letter she'd written. No direct contact. Just closure. My lawyer advised against it. Aria said it was a trap. But part of me was curious. What could she possibly say after everything? I agreed, with conditions, video call only. My lawyer present. Recorded. Any violation and we'd pursue additional charges. The call was illuminating. Sophia looked different. Not the desperate mess from the arrest, not the polished designer I dated. Just defeated. Tired. Human. She read her letter. For the first time in this entire saga, she took actual responsibility. Admitted to the cheating. The lies. The manipulation. How she'd convinced herself she deserved both relationships. How losing me made her realize Ryan was just an ego boost, someone who wanted what someone else had. Then she said something that actually surprised me. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't want you back. I just needed you to know that I understand now. You didn't abandon me. You saved yourself from someone who didn't deserve you. And I'm sorry I couldn't be the person you thought I was. She talked about the arrest. The rock bottom. How she'd lost everything chasing a man who'd already moved on. How she'd destroyed her career, alienated her friends, humiliated her family. All for what? A few months of sneaking around? The therapist asked if I wanted to respond. I did. I accept your apology, but I don't forgive you. Not because I'm holding on to anger, but because forgiveness would imply what you did was forgivable. It wasn't. You didn't just cheat. You let me plan a future with someone who didn't exist. You let me buy a ring for a woman who was effing another man. That's not a mistake. That's cruelty. She nodded. Cried a little. But didn't argue. I hope you become someone better. For the next guy. But that's your journey, not mine. Mine ended the night I read those messages. Everything since then has been cleaning up your mess. This is the last time I'll ever speak to you. Live with your choices. I'm living with mine. The call ended. My lawyer said I handled it perfectly. Aria was proud of me for not giving an inch. But here's the thing, I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No anger. No sadness. Just nothing. She was a stranger reading a letter about someone I used to know. That's when I knew I'd truly moved on. 2 weeks later, James told me she'd deleted all her social media. Not deactivated, deleted. Digital SCD. Starting over completely. Good for her, I guess. But it's not my concern. My concerns are the building I'm designing. The woman sleeping next to me who actually understands loyalty. The European trip we're planning. The life I'm building, not rebuilding, building. Because what I have now isn't a reaction to what I lost. It's what I should have had all along. Someone asked in my DMs if this experience made me cynical about love. No. It made me realistic about character. Love isn't words. It's not promises. It's not even feelings. It's choices. Every day, you choose. Sophia chose Ryan. I chose self-respect. Aria chooses transparency. The engagement ring I bought? Funny story, the jeweler remembered me when I returned it. Last month, he reached out. Said he had a client looking for that exact ring. Offered me full price to buy it back and resell it. I told him to keep the offer. Had it melted down instead. Turned it into cufflinks. I wear them to important meetings. A reminder that sometimes the best plans are the ones that fall apart. To everyone who followed this journey, thank you. Your support, your criticism, your perspectives all helped. To the guys who reached out saying my story gave them strength to leave their own toxic situations, you don't need my permission to respect yourself. Just do it. To the people calling me heartless, I'd rather be heartless than spineless. And to anyone reading this in a similar situation, wondering what to do when you find those messages, see those photos, discover those lies. Don't negotiate with terrorists. Even if you love them. Especially if you love them. Because someone who loves you back wouldn't put you in that position. Walk away. Build better. Let them figure out their SHT while you figure out your success. I'm done updating. This chapter is closed. But my story? It's just beginning. And it's going to be effing legendary. Epilogue, 1 year later. I said I was done updating, but I'm back one last time because life has a way of creating perfect endings. Last week, I was in Auckland for business. First time back since I left. Big presentation for a joint New Zealand-Australia development project. My firm's partnering with a local company. Walking through the city felt surreal. Same places, different person. I'm not the Marcus who left. I'm better. The presentation went perfectly. Closed a deal worth more than I'll make in 5 years. Celebrated with the team at a rooftop bar in the viaduct. That's when I saw her. Sophia. Working as a waitress at the bar. She saw me at the same moment. Froze. Nearly dropped her tray. I could have made it awkward. Could have left. Instead, I nodded. Acknowledged her existence. Went back to my conversation. She served our table professionally. No drama. No scenes. Just did her job. When she brought the bill, there was a note, "Congratulations on everything. You look happy." I left a $500 tip. Not to flex. Not to humiliate. Just because I could. Because success means being generous, even to people who wronged you. As we were leaving, she was clearing another table. We made eye contact. She mouthed, "Thank you." I nodded and left. James texted me later. She'd told him about seeing me. Said I looked untouchable. Like someone from a different world. I am. The boy who was planning to propose at Cathedral Cove died 2 years ago. What emerged was someone who understands his worth. Who builds skyscrapers instead of sandcastles. Who chooses partners, not projects. Aria and I are engaged now. She proposed to me, actually. Said she wasn't waiting for tradition when she knew what she wanted. That's the kind of woman you build empires with. We're getting married next year. Small ceremony in Santorini. Just family and real friends. People who were there for the rise, not just the victory. And Sophia? I hope she's learning. Growing. Becoming someone worth someone's time. Everyone deserves redemption if they work for it. But it won't be my time. That account is closed. To everyone who said I'd regret being so cold, so calculated, where's the regret? I'm designing buildings that'll outlive us all. I'm marrying a woman who matches my ambition. I'm living in a penthouse with a view of the life I built from scratch. The only thing I regret is not leaving sooner. So this is really it. The final word. Not because the story's over, but because it's evolved past her, past that version of me, past needing to document the obvious. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When they waste your time, build them for it. When they choose someone else, let them. And when you rise from the ashes they created. Don't look back to see if they're watching. They always are. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.